Nice to catch up with you, Lee. Obviously, you've had your trip to Portugal. The games have started as well. First of all, a couple of games done and dusted. Tell us what you got out of them.
Yeah, obviously the minutes the players need. Just dust off the cobwebs in terms of being on a 11-a-side pitch. Some of the stuff we've been working on and what we want to try and improve. I think them games have given us the opportunity to do that. With some tougher games coming up, where we'll probably have to work on the other side of the game a little bit more. But all in all, pleasing. And I've said before, the best thing is no one's come out with any serious injuries.
And the Portugal trip was ideal, was it? You know, you got a lot out of that.
It was brilliant, Graham. The application of the players and the staff over there was top draw. We actually got on the bus at Liverpool Airport and expected the wheel fall off the bus because it gone that smooth. You know, things don't transpire that well. So it was a really good trip. Well organised by the people over there. We had everything we needed, and I thought it was a real good opportunity as well for the players, the new boys who have come in, some of the younger players that have jumped up, and to the senior team, to all be around each other. But all in all, a real successful trip.
Well, the two games that you played, Newcastle Town and Stamford Rangers, have brought goals into the team as well. That's always a positive, whatever level or whatever standard of the game you're playing. Yeah,
and it's something I'm really conscious about, is scoring goals. I said that last year, we needed to score more goals, and we need to do it again this season. So the players we brought in have got an eye for goal and also assists, particularly hopefully playing, most of them down a level in terms of what league they're in. But it's something we're conscious of and creating chances. But when we get our team on the pitch and, touch wood, everyone stays healthy, we'll have them options even from the bench to come on and affect games.
You're fully going a pre-season training, you're playing games as well in between all that. How happy are you when you assess the data of what your players are showing? How happy are you with the fitness?
Yeah, so really pleased. I've said previously that they come back in really good condition. The scores are really high. From what we did last season, you can compare the data and the mileage that they've gone through. We go through that every day. Have to ease it up if we need to ease it up, but it's led a lot of it by what we feel is best through the sports science in George in terms of what mileage they need to hit, sprints, etc. But been really pleased with their application to the training, like you'd expect professional footballers. But that's the mentality we want to have. We don't moan about anything when it gets hard. We get on with it like the players are doing in pre-season to put themselves in the best position to come the first game of the season.
Just a word on one individual who we haven't actually spoken to, but hopefully are going to do, and he's come in. It's been a whirlwind sort of few weeks for him, but you brought Finley up into a so-called development squad. But how happy have you been with him and the progress that he's shown straight away coming into his first professional club?
Yeah, absolutely delighted. Obviously, I think come to us at the end of last season, me particularly didn't get to see that much of him. Watched him in the games that he played for the 21s group. He's got brilliant attributes, size, he can run all day, he's direct. He scored a bundle of goals at the level he was playing at. So really, in terms of where he's at, you say he's ahead of where you think he's doing himself no harm with the performance he's put in. He's a lad who wants to relish the opportunity that he's got, wants to learn, wants to do well. What we've got to do is just hone in on what qualities he's got, teach him the game a little bit in terms of getting into the box, and he likes to be out of the box after he's linked up, because I think he's got some really good attributes.
Well, your next game is Mallorca, all being well, that game's going to go ahead. That's going to be a completely different test, you would imagine, playing the Spanish side.
Yeah, it will be. You'd expect it to be a highly technical game. They fly over on Saturday, I believe. Impossible to know what type of team they're gonna put out. They're bringing all their professional players over. Again, players that might be coming back later in pre-season for what they've done. So it's going to be impossible to know exactly what team they're going to have, but we expect a really good game where we're going to be able to, we'll play against teams that play the formation they play throughout the season. So we'll be able to test out one or two things in terms of how we feel it's going to be best to stop the opposition. But we anticipate a really good game.
And then you're going to follow that up with one that is the fans are already looking forward to. Stoke are coming along to the Morflake Stadium as well, and I guess that's going to be even more of an intense game.
Yeah, it will be. It'll be in terms of what English football look like from what we will do on the Sunday. We'll be mindful on the Sunday that the game's on the Tuesday, but it will be a much higher tempo game. I expect Stoke to go well this season. We've got good people working at the football club, and I expect them to go well. So you get, again, in terms of intensity in the game, I expect that to be even a higher notch up, which we want, and we want to test ourselves against what we feel is a really good championship team.
And it's good for the whole squad, as you're assembling a newish squad, to get on the stadium and get on the pitch.
Yeah, we always take the players down, the new players down to the stadium, let them have a look round. I'll plan a day down there with the players as the season gets closer. But it will be good to get on Gresty Road and in front of the fans. With it being a localish team we're playing against, hopefully we get a few people there.
As the rebuilding continues, any positive signs that are happening for you in terms of more players coming?
Yeah, so hopefully we've struck a deal with the goalkeeper who will hopefully join us in the next couple of days. We're speaking to two other players, which isn't as straightforward as them just signing. So Josh is working hard at that. Hopefully we get a decision on both of them in the next 10 days because we really need them to be done. Now, I'm not saying we couldn't rule out when the season starts these players arriving, but I'd sooner have them in the building so they can get used to how we want to play, what we want to do, where they are fitness-wise in terms of what they've been doing at their clubs. So hopefully between now and the window shuts, we'll have positive news in terms of permanent signings coming in. And then there's the loan market, which is now beginning to heat up because younger players have been with the first team while people have been away on international duty. So hopefully we can have some news on that as well. But in terms of a goalkeeper, we hope to get that done in the next 48 hours. And then we're in for two permanent signings. So
that's a positive that you've got the goalkeeper. Obviously you've had a couple of goalkeepers in through the pre-season and you made that decision. That's good, isn't it? You needed that goalkeeper sooner rather than later to arrive.
Yeah, we do, and we want the goalkeeper to come in. It's a clean slate for Tom and the goalie who's going to come in, and they have to thrash it out between now and the start of the season to who's going to be number one. That can be a stumbling block when you get loan players in. They want so many games put into the contract. I can't ever sit in front of anybody and say they're going to play every game because I think that's the easy thing to do, and then you end up going back on your word. I just be honest and on merit. Everyone who's in the building, loan player or permanent player, if they're playing well enough, they'll get the shirt.
And as you spoke about your goalkeeper, you spoke about a couple of other players you're in conversation with. There's still the options are there, are they? As we close in, probably a month away from the new season to kick off, there's still good options available to bring in. Yeah,
there is good options to bring in. People we've highlighted quite early on. It just takes some time to get to the point of where we are and nearly hopefully finding out a decision. What there will be as well over the next couple of weeks, there's people top up their squads and that will make one or two come available, so we'll probably get some phone calls. People know what areas we're after trying to strengthen, so when teams have filled out their squads, they might make a couple of players available as well. So there will be the options there. It's easy to go out and just get players just because we feel we need to help in certain areas. It's easy to just go and spend what money we've got. We could have done that by now, but we want to make sure we get the best quality players we can.
And just on a final point of your couple of injured players who are still trying to progress, what's the latest with those?
Yeah, so Longy we're looking after during pre-season. In the off-season, he'll be out again on the grass today, so he's moving along nicely. Charlie Finley, we're just mindful of the boys had a big operation. It took some time to get to that point. The medical team did everything they could to avoid the operation, but it's a big operation. And obviously pre-season's a high workload. We just got to be mindful. He's going to go and see somebody, not with any issue, just to hopefully put his mind at rest. as far as we're aware, the operation was really successful, and there's no problem with that. It's just nurturing him along, because he's joined in some of the pre-season. It's just getting him to a point of building his calf strength up, because we really like Charlie and we want to do everything we can to get him into the squad.
Is it just a time thing with Jack Powell?
Sorry, yeah, Jack Powell. It's just a time thing. He moves along really nicely, and then obviously with the injury he's had, he can not a setback, but he can get some irritation, which is going to be expected. It's probably as big as injuries you can have for a footballer, but he's moving along nicely. In Portugal, he's out on the grass every day kicking balls. The social media put that out, which is great to see. So what you can't do is put a time scale on it, because what we don't want is for him to have any big setbacks. The risk of injury in different areas if you're rushing back is really high. So we'll be led by the medical team, and we'll see a specialist in the meantime. But in recent weeks he's moving along really well, which is good for him, because he's really positive about it.